by the window in her apron blue. Water warm and the sunlight too. Plates from supper, cups from tea, and a worn out hymn in a minor key. No choir stood behind her back, just a radio hum and the faucets cracked. But every note she softly sang felt like church bells gently rang. She hummed hymns over the dishes like prayers poured through the steam. Every note held all her wishes and a faith I didn't always see. But in those suds and simple sounds, heaven's love was passed around. No stained glass, no holy riches. She hummed hymns over the dishes. She didn't preach, she didn't shout, but I knew what her soul was about. Blessed assurance, amazing grace, she sang peace into that place. While I was young and running wild, she was praying for her child. With a plate in hand and hope in heart, she played her quiet, sacred part. She hummed hymns over the dishes like prayers poured through the steam. Every note held all her wishes and a faith I didn't always see. But in those suds and simple sounds, heaven's love was passed around. No stained glass, no holy riches. She hummed hymns over the dishes. Now when I wash my own night's mess and life feels heavy more or less, I catch myself in a low refrain, singing her song once again. I hum hymns over the dishes and feel her presence near. Every note a bridge that stitches all she taught me through the years. There's power in those little things, like soap and grace and angels' wings. Through quiet acts, her faith still wishes. She hummed hymns over the dishes. Yeah, the sink was her pulpit, and her heart a holy place.
I was gathering eggs at the break of dawn, boots in the mud and my overalls on. The rooster crowed like he always do, and I felt the Lord whisper, I'm here with you. 'Cause God lives in the chicken coop too, in the clucking sound and the morning dew. He don't just stay in the church house pew. No, God lives in the chicken coop too. Mama used to hum while the hens would feed, singing old hymns about amazing grace and need. And I learned young that His love breaks through, even in the straw and the smell of noon. 'Cause God lives in the chicken coop too, in the clucking sound and the morning dew. He don't just stay in the church house pew. No, God lives in the chicken coop too. He's in the fields, he's in the barn, he's in a farmer's calloused arms. From the steeple bell to the rooster's cue, every breath reminds me His word is true. Yes, God lives in the chicken coop too, in the clucking sound and the morning dew. He don't just stay in the church house pew. No, God lives in the chicken coop too. So when I'm gathering eggs at the break of dawn, I know God's right there keeping me strong.
I built my life on shaky ground. With pride and lies I piled high and proud. Burned every bridge, broke every vow, till nothing but the smoke was left around. My hands were black with all I'd done. The fire of regret had just begun. I looked up through a sky of gray and whispered, Lord, don't turn away. Ashes on my hands, grace in His eyes. I brought the ruin, He brought the light. No judgment passed, just love so wide that reached a man too lost to hide. I didn't bring much, just my cries, ashes on my hands, grace in His eyes. I knelt down in the dirt and rain. The echoes of my shame remain, but mercy stood where I had failed and held me close when all else failed. He saw beyond the soot and sin, saw the child I'd locked within. Didn't flinch or turn away, just opened wide the arms that stayed. Ashes on my hands, grace in His eyes. A holy truth no soul denies, that even in the mess I made, He found a soul worth being saved. No temple robe, no preacher's prize, just ashes on my hands and grace in His eyes. Now when I fall, I don't run far. He knows exactly where we are. From dust I came, to dust I'll lie, but grace will meet me high too. Spent my life building walls of stone, trying to be a man who walks alone. Swallowed my pain, wore a tough disguise, but it all broke down one Sunday night. I hit my knees on a hardwood floor, couldn't fake it anymore. No fancy words, just a broken sound, tears falling as I bowed down. I cried like a child, he held me like a father. Didn't pull away, didn't even bother to ask me why I'd stayed so far. He just wrapped me in who he is, not who I are. No shame, no blame, just grace poured over. I cried like a child, he held me like a father. All those years I thought I had to earn the love that he gave with no concern. Turns out he'd been right there, still waiting for my heart to finally kneel. Yeah, I cried like a child, and he held me like his own. In that quiet place where mercy's known, I brought him my ruin, he gave me peace. In his arms my sorrow ceased. He didn't need strong, he just needed honest water. I cried like a child, he held me like a father. There's nothing we can fall in love, sometimes the strongest thing's letting go. And when I did, he didn't wait, he ran to me through heaven's gate. So if you're tired of pretending you're fine, let your soul be the one to resign. There's no fear in his embrace, just a father full of endless grace. I found home and love like no other when I cried like a child, and he held me like a father. Yeah, I cried like a child, and he held me like a father.
I was standing by the window, my heart worn thin, life's heavy burdens, the weight of sin. Then the clouds broke open, and I stood there as the rain fell soft like a Sunday prayer. Rain fell like a Sunday prayer, washing away my doubt and despair. Every drop whispered, "Child, I'm there." When the rain fell like a Sunday prayer. Mama used to tell me God speaks low, not always in thunder, but in the streams that flow. And I felt his mercy in the cool night air, when the rain came down like a Sunday prayer. Rain fell like a Sunday prayer, from the Father's sky. Rain fell like a Sunday prayer, washing away my doubt and despair. Every drop whispered, "Child, I'm there." When the rain fell like a Sunday prayer. Yes, the rain still falls like a Sunday prayer. I spent my life trying to earn a kind of grace I didn't learn. Thought if I prayed just right, stood tall, maybe I'd be worth it all. But I kept falling short each day. With every stumble I'd drift away, till one night on my knees in shame, I heard him whisper out my name. He didn't need me to be perfect, he just needed me to come. Not with answers, not with trophies, just with everything I'd done. He saw the cracks, the worn out pages, and still called me his own. He didn't need me to be perfect, just to know I wasn't alone. I used to hide behind my pride, wear a mask I thought could guide, but he saw through that thin disguise and loved the man behind the lies. He didn't need me to be perfect, he just needed me to bend, to trade my guilt for quiet mercy and let the healing slow begin. He didn't ask for cleaned up stories or Sunday shoes and suit and tie. He didn't need me to be perfect, just real enough to cry. He met me there just as I was, with wounded hands and deeper love, and all I thought disqualified, he used to draw me to his side. He didn't need me to be perfect, no, he'd already paid the price. He just waited on a broken heart to step into the light. Now I sing not 'cause I'm worthy, but because I've been set free. He didn't need me to be perfect, just willing to believe. He took my mess and made it grace. Not once did he look away. He didn't need me to be perfect, just to trust him anyway. I found the bottom of a bottle more than once. Thought it held peace, thought it packed some punch. The devil poured shots and whispered lies, told me comfort came in a glass of rye. I drank away the love I had, burned some bridges, drove folks mad, laughed through pain, cursed through tears, woke up hollow for too many years. The devil got me drunk, but God got me sober, picked me up when the
got me drunk, and God got me sober. I hit my knees on a motel floor with a Bible I'd never opened before. Didn't know what to pray or say, but he heard the groan I gave that day. Yeah, the devil got me drunk, but God got me clean. Washed the shame I thought would never leave. He didn't shame me, didn't scold, just took the ball and gave me gold. I ain't who I was, I'm a new man, older. The devil got me drunk, but God got me sober. A cup of coffee each sunrise and thank the Lord for clearing my eyes. I still fight, but I don't fight alone. Mercy moved in and made me home. So if you're lost with a drink in hand, brother, I know you can barely stand, but grace walks in where shame don't dare. You'll find him there if you just care. He don't need you perfect, just a soul turned over. Yeah, the devil got you drunk, but God can get you sober. He got me sober, and he's still holding me now.
Past the fence where the wild grass grows, I found the truth in the dust that blows. No stained glass light, just the sunrise glow. That's where the gospel met the gravel road. Where the gospel met the gravel road, grace was heavy, but it eased my load. Every mile I walk, his mercy showed. Where the gospel met the gravel road. Mama's Bible on the old porch rail, Daddy's prayers never seem to fail. The Spirit call in a voice I know. Out on that gravel, the gospel spoke. Where the gospel met the gravel road, grace was heavy, but it eased my load. Every mile I walked, his mercy showed. Where the gospel met the gravel road. No choir sang, just the whippoorwill, but I heard his promise, strong and still. Met the gravel road. Where the gospel met the gravel road, grace was heavy, but it eased my load. Every tear I cried, he overflowed.
They wheeled him in just past the bell, through double doors where praises swell. His suit was worn, his tie hung low, but in his eyes the spirit glowed. The usher smiled, the choir paused. He raised his hand to give applause, though legs gave out like autumn stalk. He never missed church, even when he couldn't walk. He never missed church, even when he couldn't walk. Still sang the hymns and heard the talk, through pain and age and Sunday rain. He showed up just the same. He'd whisper amen through the ache. With every breath his soul would stake. Faith don't need feet on solid rock. He never missed church, even when he couldn't walk. They say his knees once built the pews and painted walls in gospel hues. He taught the kids, he fixed the lights, he shoveled snow on winter nights. But now his hands, though trembling slow, still held that book he loved to know. Each verse he'd mark, each tear he'd blot. He never missed church, even when he couldn't knock. He never missed church, even when he couldn't walk. Still gave the Lord his voice and talk, while others stayed for lesser pain. He showed what worship really means. They carried him, but he stood tall in ways no cane could show at all. The pews grew quiet when he talked. He never missed church, even when he couldn't walk. And when the day came to lay him down, the church was full for miles around. They said he taught us how to live, to serve, to stand, to love, forgive. He never missed church, even when he couldn't walk. His faith was more than Sunday talk. His legacy is paved in grace. In every soul that saw his face, now angels lift what time had blocked. He walks in heaven, where he'll never need to walk. The words were gone, my voice ran dry. Too many tears to even try. I stood there heavy, full of shame. No fancy prayer, no holy name, but somehow he knew just where I stood. In the silence he understood. I didn't need to beg or plead, 'cause my heart fell down before my knees. When I couldn't speak, my knees did. They hit the ground where mercy lives. I bowed down low in the dirt and dust. Too weak to talk, but strong enough to trust. No sermon said, no grand display, just a soul too lost to find the way. When I couldn't speak, my knees did, and heaven heard me anyway. The barn was cold, the dawn was near, but somehow grace was drawing near. The floor beneath became my throne, where I met God just skin and bone. When I couldn't speak, my knees did. They hit the ground where mercy lives. I bowed down low in the dirt and dust. Too weak to talk, but strong enough to trust. No sermon said, no grand display, just a soul too lost to find the way. When I couldn't speak, my knees did, and heaven heard me anyway. You don't need perfect words, just truth. Just a heart that bends like weathered roots. He reads the silence and catches those who give their all. When I couldn't speak, my knees did, and that was all he ever needed. No choir sang, no candles burned, just one man praying with nothing earned. He touched my soul, forgave my past, and stood me up with love that lasts. When I couldn't speak, my knees did, and that was more than words could say. Now I know when words fall short, there's still a way to reach the Lord. When I couldn't speak, my knees did.
I've walked these roads since I was a boy, plowing the earth, sowing seeds of joy. Now the furrows run deep, my hair's turned gray, but heaven feels closer with each new day. Heaven's just a field away, beyond the sunrise, where the angels play. No more burdens, no more clay. Heaven's just a field away. Mama sang hymns while the corn would rise. Daddy bowed low with working hands to the sky. They both are resting where the good Lord stays, and I'll meet them soon, just a field away. Heaven's just a field away, beyond the sunrise, where the angels play. No more burdens, no more clay. Heaven's just a field away. The harvest is calling, my soul is at peace. The rose of this life are coming to cease. When that final sunset ends my day, I'll walk on home, just a field away. Heaven's just a field away, beyond the sunrise, where the angels play. No more burdens, no more clay. Heaven's just a field away. Yes, I'll see my Savior, just a field away.
I stole some time I couldn't give back, chased the world down a one-way track, said prayers with a bottle in my hand, Lost count of the lies I let it stand. Mama said, son, the Lord still sees. But I hid behind my vanities. I ran from grace like a wanted man, but he never once let go of my hand. I broke every rule, he broke none. I cursed the night, he gave me the sun. I walked away, but he stayed near. Through every doubt, through every tear, he held the line when I would run. I broke every rule, he broke none. I heard his voice in a midnight storm, not in wrath but soft and warm. He said, child, you can't outsin my grace. Then mercy washed over my disgrace. I broke every rule, he broke none. I cursed the night, he gave me the sun. I walked away, but he stayed near. Through every doubt, through every tear, he held the line when I would run. I broke every rule, he broke none. He wore the weight I should have borne, took the blame when I was worn. I built walls, he tore them down, planted hope in barren ground. I broke every rule, he broke none. Still he called me my forgiven son. Now I walk free, now I believe in love too strong to ever leave. He stayed true when I was done. I broke every rule, he broke none. He broke no vows, he told no lies, just waited there with patient eyes. And when I fell, he still held on. I broke every rule, but he broke none.
Down by the holler, where the water runs clear, preacher's voice echoed, and the Spirit drew near. I stepped in trembling, but I still believe that old country creek had a soul to receive. The creek baptized more than just me. It carried my sins down to Calvary. Mama's tears fell, Daddy's heart broke free. The creek baptized more than just me. I saw my sister wave in one July day. Her laughter turned holy as she bowed to pray. That water kept flowing through our family. washing generations in sweet mercy. The creek baptized more than just me. It carried our songs down to Calvary. Voices of the faithful rose in harmony. The creek baptized more than just me. Now the banks are quiet, but I still recall the Spirit of God in the whippoorwill's call. And when my life ends, Lord, let it be like stepping in that creek to eternity. The creek baptized more than just me. It carried our hopes down to Calvary. From the old oak shade to eternity, the creek baptized more than just me. Yes, the creek baptized more than just me.
Found it in a box beneath the bed, leather cracked and pages stained with red. A ribbon marked the book of John, where he used to read when nights were long. His name was scribbled on the first page line, next to a prayer he wrote in '69. I held it like it still held him, and the dam broke deep within. My father's Bible and a flood of tears, all the silence of the distant years came rushing back with every verse. The grace he lived, the love, the hurt. I read his notes, I felt his hands, and knelt down, though I barely can. No preacher close, but God was near. My father's Bible and a flood of tears. Pages worn from weathered days, smelled like dust and old porch grace. I turned to Psalms and saw a line. He circled, though I fall, he still is mine. He didn't leave me gold or land, just words that time could understand. And in that moment I believed that faith can live in memory. My father's Bible and a flood of tears, all my guilt and all my fears were washed beneath that leather spine, with every word he left behind. He may be gone, but now I see he left the way back home for me, through trembling hands and broken years. My father's Bible and a flood of tears. Now I keep it close beside my bed, whisper prayers like Daddy said. And And when I cry, I know He hears. Through my Father's Bible and a flood of tears. I tried to sing like I used to do, but the words got lost in the weight I knew. The melody cracked, the pitch fell low, like my heart just didn't want to go. My prayer came out more like a sigh. Didn't feel holy, didn't sound right, but through the silence, through the ache, I felt something start to break. My broken voice still reached heaven, through the pain and through the tears I'd given. It wasn't loud, it wasn't strong, but grace don't need a perfect song. He heard the hurt I couldn't even say. My broken voice still found its way. I used to think I had to shine, to speak in verses, to sound divine, but all it took was truth and need, and a God who listens when we bleed. Yeah, my broken voice still reached heaven, though I sang off key and barely begging. No golden choir, no preacher's tone, just a weary soul crying alone. But somehow it rose past clouds and clay. My broken voice still found its way. So if you're choking on your prayer, thinking no one's really there, just whisper low, just breathe His name. You'll never cry in Jesus' name in vain. 'Cause my broken voice still reached heaven, and yours will too, no matter the session. He hears the whispers, He holds the moan, He walks with you through the unknown. You don't need perfect words to pray, just a heart that's trying, and He'll make a way. Yeah, my broken voice still reached heaven, and He answered me like a father listens.
Grandpa's hands were weathered, stained with the land, grease on his fingers, Bible close at hand. Before he turned the key at the break of day, he bowed his head and I heard him pray. Grandpa prayed over the track come true. Grandpa prayed, and the good Lord knew. He'd thank God for rain, for the strength to stand, for the seed in the ground, for the work of man. But he'd always say with a humble tone, this land's not mine, it's the Lord's alone. Grandpa prayed over the tractor wheels, asked the Lord to bless the harvest fields. Every furrow cut was a hymn come true. Grandpa prayed, and the good Lord knew. Now the old John Deere's sitting quiet and still, but I feel his prayers in the fields I till. And when I climb up to that meadow seat, I whisper the words where his faith and mine meet. Grandpa prayed over the tractor wheels, asked the Lord to bless the harvest fields. Every furrow cut was a hymn come true. Grandpa prayed, and the good Lord knew. Yes, Grandpa prayed, and the good Lord knew.
I'd run out of reasons, run out of time, lost all the mountains I thought were mine. Bills on the table, bottle in hand, and no one left who'd understand. I stared at the ceiling, heart full of stone, feeling like even God left me alone. I whispered, Lord, if you're still there, but I didn't expect He'd answer that prayer. He waited at the end of my road, where the light was gone and I couldn't cope. Not one step left, not one more light, just silent smoke and a tired sigh. But there He stood, no wrath, no shame, just calling softly on my name. I let go, thinking I'd lose hope, but He waited at the end of my road. I thought He'd be angry, thought He'd be gone, after all the times I'd done Him wrong. But mercy don't leave like people do. It stays for the fight and sees you through. That rope didn't snap, it turned to grace, and I fell right into His embrace. He didn't ask why I took so long, He just held me close like I but found the start of being free. Where I broke, he built new hope, 'cause he waited at the end of my road. Now I tie that rope into a cross, a reminder that I'm never lost. No matter how far I may go, he waits there, and he won't let go. Mama set the table round 6 each night. Biscuits in the basket, sweet tea just right. Daddy bowed his head, calloused hands laced, and thanked the Lord with quiet grace. We didn't wear robes, no steeple in sight, just folded hands and soft kitchen light. But love sat down in that humble room, and what we shared felt like a sacred tune. That wasn't just supper, it was communion. A little bit of heaven in the dining room union. Forgiveness passed with the butter and bread, mercy served with the words we said, laughter, tears, and truth in reunion. That wasn't just supper, it was communion. Sometimes there was silence, sometimes a fight, but Daddy would say, let's make it right. And by dessert, we'd all feel whole, like grace had found its way back home. Mama's cornbread could heal your soul, and those green beans made the broken whole. It wasn't the food that made it divine, it was the Spirit poured with every line. That wasn't just supper, it was communion. A little bit of Calvary in the Tuesday union. Love poured out in mashed potato bowls, truth laid bare in casserole souls. What we had was more than tradition or reunion. That wasn't just supper, it was communion. Table's empty, the chairs are still, but I set 2 plates when I need to feel that sacred peace, that holy place where grace wore an apron and smiled with grace. That wasn't just supper, it was communion, a lifetime of faith in a nightly reunion, where bread and love were passed around, and Jesus came without a sound. No stained glass, just a kitchen's illumination. That wasn't just supper, it was communion.
walked the cornrows since I was young. Calloused hands and a work song sung, but every furrow carved in this land reminds me of grace, not the strength of man. Cornrows and Calvary, both etched deep in me. One feeds my body, the other sets me free from the fields of earth to eternity. I'm living between cornrows and Calvary. Daddy taught me how to work the ground. Mama prayed hard when the sun went down. They showed me Jesus through sweat and tears, and the cross grew taller with every year. Cornrows and Calvary, both etched deep in me. One feeds my body, the other sets me free from the fields of earth to eternity. I'm living between cornrows and Calvary. When the harvest is over and my work is done, I'll trade these fields for a brighter one, where the golden grain forever will be, and the cross still stands at Calvary. Cornrows and Calvary, both etched deep in me. One feeds my body, the other sets me free from the fields of earth to eternity. I'm living between cornrows and Calvary. Yes, I'll rest in peace between cornrows and Calvary.
I was raised on pews and Sunday light, Mama's prayers and Daddy's might. I knew the word before I learned to drive, but I took the wheel and left that life. I walked through fire, I built myself, said I'm fine with no one's help. But deep inside the truth remained. I chose a storm, ignored the rain. Forgive me, Lord, I knew better. I felt you call in every letter, every verse, every song, every tear I ignored. I wasn't lost, I just slammed the door. I broke your heart with every step, still you chased me with no regret. I ain't asking you to forget the weather, just forgive me, Lord, I knew better. The bottle, the pride, the angry nights, I traded peace for pointless fights. I blamed the world, but truth be told, the blame was mine, cold and bold. You don't owe me one more chance, but still I see your outstretched hands. I ain't got much, but I've got tears and a heart that finally hears. Forgive me, Lord, I knew better. I mocked the church, ignored the letter you wrote in red with nail-scarred grace, and still I turned and hid my face. But here I am, with nothing left, just shame and breath and one last step. I won't pretend, I won't say never. Just forgive me, Lord, I knew better. If mercy waits for stubborn men, then maybe we can start again. I knew the truth, but now I surrender. Forgive